The night sings softly above Coruscant. From the highest spires of the Jedi Temple, the city glows like a field of stars frozen in glass. Yet beneath its brilliance, there's a hollow stillness. Something fragile, something watching. The hum of airspeeders drifts upward in long, tired sighs. Peace reigns, but not without a tremor underneath. You walk the corridors in silence. The halls carry the scent of meditation incense and the quiet pulse of the living force. Your steps are slow, attuned to that rhythm, like a heartbeat echoing through stone. The murals along the walls shimmer faintly, scenes of victories, parables, and balance long sought. Yet even those eternal faces seem uneasy tonight. The light in their eyes flickers when you pass. Somewhere deep in the archives, a holocron stirs to life without command. Its blue shimmer spills across the shelves, then fades again, leaving the room darker than before. You pause without meaning to. The force around you, warm, immense, but threaded with unease. It's like listening to a lullaby played just a breath off key. Master Yoda says that fear leaves ripples, that the force remembers every heartbeat it touches. You close your eyes and try to listen the way he does, beyond sound, beyond silence. The galaxy responds, faint but undeniable. You hear distant pulses across countless worlds, small awakenings. A fleet being prepared, a voice rehearsing power, a storm hidden inside a man's charm. For a moment, everything slows. The temple seems to tilt just slightly, as though the universe itself exhales. You steady yourself against the wall, tracing patterns in the cool marble as your thoughts drift toward the Chancellor. So kind, so gentle in words. Yet the same warmth that draws trust now feels like heat creeping from coals. You open your eyes to the skyline again. Coruscant stretches endless, luminous, pretending calm. But in the Force, you see what the light conceals, a thread of shadow tightening around the Senate dome. You breathe deeply. The air carries both serenity and forewarning. Somewhere, 1,000 destinies turn toward the same point, unseen but inevitable. You sense the whisper again, clearer now, urgent yet gentle. Something is coming. Something meant to be stopped before it begins. And as the dawn glows faintly in the east, you feel the weight of decision yet to be spoken. The Force hums, draw you toward tomorrow, toward the discovery of the hidden command. Within the marble depths of the Jedi archives, moonlight brushes ancient shelves like a soft memory. The air hums faintly with the whispers of names long gone, guardians who once stood watch over a republic forgotten. You walk between towering columns of knowledge, guided not by sight, but by the gentle pull of the Force. It feels different tonight. The current flows slower, heavier. Every flicker of light seems to breathe. A holorecord pulses on the far table, faint and rhythmic. Archivist droids glide silently past, unaware. You kneel before it. Words shimmer into being, patient and cold. Order 65. In the event the Supreme Chancellor becomes a danger to the Republic, command of the Grand Army shall revert to the Senate, and the Jedi shall act. You let the message unfurl in your mind like a small, unfolding storm. Its syllables carry the scent of destiny, one written yet untold. Around you, the archives seem to hold their breath. You can almost hear the distant clash of what may come. This knowledge feels like a door, and you, a hand trembling on its handle. Later, in the dim circle of the council chamber, candles burn low, their flames dancing like stars reflected on still water. The masters sit in silence, robes gathered like shadows. It is not anger that fills the room, but sorrow, the kind that knows peace's limits. Wind from the city filters through open skylights, carrying the faint hum of Coruscant's heartbeat. You speak, voice calm but heavy. The safety of the Republic rests in our understanding of this command. Master Windu watches you closely. To act against the Chancellor would shake the foundation of everything we defend. And yet, you reply softly, to ignore it may allow darkness to reign unchecked. The conversation drifts, gentle but sharp beneath its surface, like current beneath still water. Every master feels it, the thinning line between faith and fear. The Force wraps around the chamber, listening. Silence settles once more. Then Yoda's eyes open, ancient and infinite. Prepared we must be, for truth, when it comes, offers no comfort. His words ripple through the Force like bells under the sea. Outside, dawn glows beneath Coruscant's haze. The room remains suspended in quiet understanding, an invisible boundary crossed. The archive doors close behind you, their whisper echoing through your thoughts. Toward the moment when hidden truths will no longer stay hidden. The Senate dome gleams like a promise fulfilled, but up close, its light cuts too sharply against the dark. Columns of gold arch overhead, their shine whispering of triumph and order. Yet beneath that radiance, you feel the hum of something older, colder, ambition disguised as peace. Every sound echoes differently now. Each footstep seems to stir shadows that should not exist. The Chancellor's office waits ahead, veiled in half-light, his voice warm and patient, ripples outward from within like a tide against still water. "My friend," he says, and somehow the words feel like silk drawn across steel. You bow slightly, a gesture reflexive, respectful, and yet something in the Force recoils, subtle but certain, an ache that begins behind your eyes. You have come to discuss the motion of emergency powers, the next step in this long war. But what rises in your chest is not certainty, but dread. As Palpatine turns, his face framed by Coruscant's pale twilight, you glimpse an echo of another visage, layered over his own. For the briefest moment, his shadow stretches wrong along the wall, longer, sharper, almost alive. You steady yourself. The Force flows around him like water over stone, unable to touch, yet aware of its resistance. When he smiles again, the empathy in his eyes is too precise, the warmth too measured. He speaks of the Jedi's restraint, the Senate's faith, the Republic's stability, and each word lands like a step deeper into soft quicksand. Across the room, the city sprawls outward, endless light masking deeper night. You find your reflection in the window, your face calm, but behind your eyes flicker visions. Sabers ignited in council chambers, fleets above scorched worlds, a storm of lightning crowned upon a throne. You blink, and the visions fade, leaving only silence. Palpatine motions for trust, for patience, for unity. You bow once more, but the motion feels heavier than before. When you turn away, you feel his gaze linger, a quiet, invisible weight pressing between your shoulders. The corridors stretch long and dim on your return to the temple. Peace masks itself, fragile as glass. You remind yourself that light still guides all things, but tonight it feels dimmed by something vast and unseen. Behind you, the Chancellor's chamber remains still, its golden light flickering like a cage, awaiting a storm the Jedi have yet to name. The sky above Coruscant bleeds gold into dusk, its shimmer fractured by the endless hum of traffic streams. Yet within the Jedi Temple, the light feels dimmer, wrapped in silence. You stand at the Council's edge motionless, as translucent rays filter through the high glass. Around you, the Masters breathe as one, a calm masking what lies beneath. The Force stirs thickly in the air, every vibration warning of choices that cannot be undone. Order 65 is spoken again, this time aloud, this time with conviction. The Council's eyes turn inward, searching through clouds of uncertainty for even a spark of peace. You feel the tension ripple like wind before lightning. The Chancellor's charm has twisted into unease, a melody grown sour. And somewhere beyond these walls, his apprentice of prophecy stands between loyalty and truth. The hollow map glows in the chamber's center, outlining the Senate district, Palpatine's tower at its heart. Mace Windu's voice cuts through the stillness, calm but edged like tempered steel. We will confront him. If he has deceived us, the Republic itself must know. The words sink deep into you, heavy as stars. Anakin's name drifts between their voices, spoken too softly, too carefully. He has grown restless, almost fierce. You can still feel his conflict like a scar in the Force. his devotion to duty, his fear of loss, his yearning for control. You wonder if betrayal starts in the heart, or if it's merely planted there by destiny's cruel design. You bow your head, your hands brushing the empty air, and the hum of your lightsaber feels alive beneath your palm. Fear does not belong to you, but it courses through everyone present. You sense masters breathing slower, trying to tame their thoughts. The Force trembles, not in anger, but anticipation. Outside, rain begins to fall in soft spirals against the temple's outer walls, gentle and relentless. The droplets sound like distant drums calling the galaxy to awaken. You listen, closing your eyes, allow yourself one final moment of calm. There is no victory to hope for, only balance. Perhaps peace must shatter before it can rise anew. The storm gathers, silent and immense, like destiny breathing over your shoulder. You open your eyes. The path before you glows with danger and duty intertwined. And in the distance, beyond the rain-soft curtain, lightning gathers above the Senate dome. The Senate chamber feels impossibly vast, its tiers rising like endless waves of polished steel. The air hums with static, thick with destiny. You stand at the edge of that cavernous silence, the faint pulse of your lightsaber still dormant at your side. Beside you, masters move as one, calm, deliberate, unwavering. Their robes whisper across the marble floor as the door slides open. Beyond, the Chancellor waits. Palpatine rises slowly, his face washed in the gold of Coruscant's fading sun. His eyes, still kind, still human, betray nothing, yet the Force screams. You feel it shatter into countless shards around him, like glass breaking beneath unseen pressure. Mace Windu speaks first, his words low but iron-bound. You are under arrest, Chancellor. There's a stillness, then a moment so fragile it seems time might forget to move. Palpatine's reply is soft, almost sorrowful. Are you sure of that? The question curls like smoke through the air, and then the storm begins. Lightning ignites the room, coiling from his fingers in endless blue arcs. It strikes the masters, casting their silhouettes in momentary radiance. You raise your saber, its hum singing against the storm. Every motion unfolds in slow, dreamlike rhythm, silver and violet light dancing in spirals, the sound of balance tearing itself apart. Palpatine moves with unnatural grace, his laughter echoing across the chamber's stone heart. You feel his power as a crushing tide, the Force twisted and alive. Yet beneath it all, something trembles inside him. Not rage, but fear. It is brief, fleeting, gone before you can grasp it. The masters fight with focus born of years, yet the current shifts too violently. One by one, their strength falters. The light grows dimmer. You move instinctively, shielding a fallen comrade, your blade intercepting one final burst of lightning. The scent of ozone fills the air. When the silence returns, Palpatine stands breathing hard, robes torn, no longer masked by civility. But he is still smiling, the calm of a predator who has already seen the future. Windu raises a saber, poised above the Chancellor's chest, and the Force itself seems to hold its breath. Behind you, footsteps echo, Anakin's presence pulsing like starlight fractured in water. He hesitates, torn between gods and ghosts. And as truth trembles in that still space between light and dark, you feel the future sway. The battle's echoes fade, leaving only the softest of burned circuits and the distant sigh of falling embers. The Senate chamber, once a monument of order, lies in ruin. The air tastes of metal and ashes. You move through drifting smoke as though walking through memory itself. Every step heavy, every breath deliberate. The great dome, symbol of Republic unity, is fractured, light streaming through its wounded crown like sacred fire seeking escape. Palpatine's throne lies overturned, cracked against the marble. The man who once sat there lies still beside it, robes torn, the mask of benevolence gone. The darkness that once clung to him evaporates slowly, piece by piece, leaving no comfort in its absence. The force around you feels hollow, like wind sighing through a broken harp. Mace Windu stands across from you, his silhouette carved in gold against the collapsing skyline. His saber has long since dimmed, but his gaze still burns, haunted yet certain. "It's over," he murmurs, though neither of you believe it. Victory should feel like light returning. But here, under the scorched dome, it only deepens the shadows. You look beyond the shattered walls, where the horizon flickers with the pale glow of dawn. The city below goes on, unaware, perhaps unwilling, to grasp what has transpired above its head. Freedom, so long fought for, is fragile in your grasp. The Jedi have acted. The Republic is safe, for now. And still, peace feels distant, an echo trying to remember its source. You close your eyes and reach into the Force. It trembles, uncertain, grief-stricken, vast. The threads of destiny are tangled, their music strained. For every note of harmony restored, another still cries out in mourning. You sense Anakin somewhere far away, his presence dim, unmoored by loss. The path that might have consumed him has shifted, but not disappeared. Darkness does not die. It withdraws, waiting whispered through stars unseen. The flame gutters out. Dust settles across a ruin. You veil your saber and kneel amid the wreckage, not in triumph, but in reverence. The galaxy has changed again, quietly, irrevocably. In the silence, you promise to rebuild what was nearly lost. Outside, dawn spills over Coruscant's skyline, gold and uncertain, carrying the faint pulse of something new. And somewhere beyond the city's breath, a fallen star begins to rise once more. Night spreads quietly across Coruscant, soft and weightless, folding over the aftermath of battle. The Senate's flames have dimmed, but their reflection still glows faintly in the distance, like ghosts of choices already made. Within the temple, the air feels still, too still, as if waiting for something it cannot name. You stand in the meditation chamber, the hum of the city below echoing through your thoughts. The Force moves in strange tide tonight, its current both grieving and alive. Somewhere beyond the temple walls, Anakin Skywalker walks the lower corridors alone. The once bright presence in the Force that defined him now flickers unsteadily, like a star on the verge of collapse. You can feel him, his confusion, his sorrow, his unbearable love. He fears peace will cost him everything he holds dear. You reach out, tentative, and the Force answers with heat and turbulence, desperate and raw. If you close your eyes, you see it unfold. Visions not of future but of possibilities. A sun imploding, its brilliance consumed from within. The Force crying out, reaching for harmony it can no longer find. And yet, something lingers amid the turmoil. Hope, small and golden, caught between breaths. You follow that thread across time and feeling, tracing it to the boy who once gazed at the stars from a desert world, dreaming only of freedom. His destiny, though bound by prophecy, has always belonged to his heart. You sense him now torn open by love and loss, his emotions a storm too vast for his own spirit to contain. It is not darkness that tempts him most, but fear. Fear of being powerless again, of letting the galaxy fall when he could save it. The Force shudders between you. Both. The night deepens. He kneels somewhere unseen, torn by grief, whispering names you cannot hear. The galaxy holds its breath, waiting to see if the chosen will ascend or fall. You whisper to the current. Balance is not light against dark. It is love surviving through both. The words fade into the still air. Somewhere, a single tremor of hope stirs, small but radiant. And as stars break through the clouds above the city, you feel the next movement of destiny begin. The dawn of the galaxy unsure of its healing. The war is over. Yet the silence it leaves behind feels heavy, immense. You stand at the edge of the citadel once ruled by power, now hollowed by time and loss. The air is thin and still, touched by the fading scent of ozone. In every corner of the galaxy, people speak in softer tones, uncertain if quiet means safety or just a pause before the next storm. You sense it everywhere, a trembling balance trying to form. The Force, once fractured by domination and fear, now hums with renewal. It feels different, less command, more cooperation. The currents that once pulled sharply toward darkness now meander through all living things, searching for new patterns, new songs to hum across the stars. In this fragile dawn, civilizations awaken from a fevered dream. The Senate halls are rebuilt, their new leaders young and cautious. The clone armies, long severed from command, wander in quiet service, unsure whether to protect or simply to rest. And on countless worlds, the survivors light lanterns, tiny points of defiance against the vast dark. Yet peace does not come easily. The wounds of empire linger like echoes carried through hyperspace. Scarred planets remember every bombardment, just as the people remember every loss. You walk among them, listening, learning. It reminds you that peace is not a state, but a movement, a cycle that breathes and fits and starts. Even the Force seems to sigh through you, as if mourning what balance costs. Above, the stars burn without favoritism, endlessly, indifferently beautiful. You realize the galaxy doesn't seek perfection. It seeks rhythm, creation, collapse, renewal. Every civilization, like every star, has its season of burning and its quiet fade into dust. Perhaps peace follows that same pattern, a dance written across time, too vast for any one lifetime to comprehend. And yet, even knowing that impermanence, you choose hope. You choose to believe the light, though faint, persists. The Force will continue to flow, reshaping everything, as it always has. You close your eyes and feel it breathe again through you, soft and unending, the lifeblood of stars and strangers alike. Somewhere in this silence, beyond what sight can hold, a new generation is stirring, their destiny still unformed, their questions still untouched by history. And as you listen to that rising hum, faint but growing, you sense it calling you toward a place where echoes find form again, the temple and the ghosts that wait within. The temple stands quiet once more, its towers shadowed against the faint glow of dawn. You step through the entrance, where ancient carvings still shimmer faintly beneath the dust. Wind has replaced laughter here. Emptiness has replaced command. Yet, there is peace in the stillness, a kind that hums beneath the surface, waiting to be rediscovered. Your footsteps echo down the marble corridors, each sound returning as if from another lifetime. The scent of stone and rain lingers, soft and familiar. You remember where each hall once led, the archives, the meditation chambers, the grand spire where younglings train beneath suns that no longer shine through intact glass. Though the years have worn the temple thin, its essence remains. The Force moves through it gently, touching the cracks like light through the veins of crystal. In the council chamber, dust drifts across the circular seats where wisdom once gathered. You trace your hand along the edge of the chair, feeling the residue of memory. Hope, doubt, laughter, dissent. It feels like ghosts breathing beside you. You can almost hear their quiet conversations again. The arguments about destiny, the whispers of compassion and caution, the balance they always sought but never fully found. You kneel where the central flame once danced. The air hangs thick with echoes. The Force pools around you, comforting, watching. It doesn't grieve here. It reflects. Even the shadows seem to listen. Perhaps this is how the galaxy heals. Not by forgetting what fell, but by remembering what must rise again. You open yourself to the current that hums beyond the walls. It carries the murmur of life returning. Children trained in secret sanctuaries, wanderers speaking of forgotten teachings, balance forming from the wounds of war. The Jedi are no longer in order. They are feeling scattered but alive, woven into the hearts of many. The temple, though broken, stands as their echo, a reminder, not a failure, but of growth. You exhale slowly. The marble gleams faintly beneath your fingers, warmed by first light. The Force drifts through the open chamber, whispering renewal, not in words, but in harmony. As the wind moves again to the hollow halls, you rise with it, lighter, quieter, and fully awake to what remains. And somewhere beyond the sunrise, a current deepens, carrying you toward a stillness where fate and eternity entwine, the eternal balance. The galaxy turns slowly, as though exhaling after centuries of strain. The wars that shook its stars have fallen into whispers, their echoes drifting across the void like dust. You float within that stillness, wrapped in the hum of the Force. It moves through you and beyond you, neither light nor dark, but vast, living ocean, ever reshaping itself. Here, among constellations reborn, you sense the rhythm of what remains. Planets heal beneath soft storms and patient suns. Children with no memory of empires grow strong beneath skies free of fear. Even the ruins sing faintly in their own way, reminders not what was broken, but of what was rebuilt. You close your eyes, tracing every thread that connects you to life. The Force feels gentler now, less a command, more a conversation between creation and memory. Every being, a leaf, a moon, a thought, adds to its quiet chorus. Perhaps balance was never the victory of one side over the other, but the stillness discovered between them. In that truth, you find comfort. Yoda's voice murmurs faintly through the current, patient and amused. Always in motion is the future. You smile at the knowing. The past has shaped what must come, yet the future breathes because you let it go. The Jedi are no longer guardians above. They are threads among billions, guiding by example, not decree. Somewhere, Anakin's spirit drifts freely, luminous and calm. His storm has passed, his scars dissolving into light. The galaxy remembers him not as fallen or redeemed, but as a soul that sought wholeness, as all souls do. Palpatine's shadow, too, dissipates, not destroyed, but rendered powerless by understanding. For even darkness, when faced with compassion, loses its hold. You look out upon the stars once more. They revolve slowly, infinitely, the same yet never the same. The Force breathes with them, endlessly creating, endlessly letting go. Every pulse of energy through space is like a heartbeat, one of billions, one of yours. There is no end to this story, only transformation. The current continues. The song expands. You breathe in the glimmering silence, knowing that you are part of it now, like light returning to its source. And as the galaxy turns again, you drift with it, softly and forever, into the balance that has no ending, only eternal beginning.